Hi, welcome to episode 3 of this tutorial series. In the last episode, we created a grid view populated with an image adapter, filled with 15 images of a sample poster. In this episode, we're going to fetch data from an API, the moviedatabase.org, so that we're not just using a sample poster, but we're using real posters for real movies. The first thing you want to do is sign up for an account here. It's completely free to get your API key. You need your API key to make queries to the movie database. Please don't use my API key. It's really fast, so make sure you just get your own. Alright, and then we're going to make that a static string in our movies fragment. So remember last time we had this get paths from API with the boolean. Let's make this sort by popularity. And we just created a string array with this sample movie path, 15 of them. Now we're going to get real movie paths. This is a little bit more complicated. We're going to wrap this all in a loop, so if an exception is caught, the loop is continued until it's successful. JSON result is going to be exactly what we need. And this is where we make the query to the API database. Well, not exactly here, but this is where we create the URL that makes the query. And if the boolean sort by popularity is true, then we'll have sort by popularity here. And let's just check real quick if this URL is correct. Yes, it is. We'll go over this in a second. So this is the query that you can make to the API to get the top 20 most popular movies at the moment. And then this is the query you make to the API to get the top 20 highest rated movies. Instead of sorting by popularity, we sort by vote average. And we want to get movies that have at least 500 votes on them. This is how you do that. You can do a bunch of reading in the documentation. There are a whole bunch of different calls you can make to the movie API. And there's a lot of good documentation to go with it, so this database is huge, and we're just using a small part of it. And let's just test out this call, make sure it works. Looks like it does. So here's the code to connect to the URL above. We'll handle all these exceptions in a catch block. It's just checking if the input stream is null. We'll just exit this method. Here we're reading the string. And this is our result. This is where all of our data is going to be sitting in. This string, JSON result. So what is a string? This is the string. It looks like a huge jumble of crap. How are you going to get... We want to parse this to get the exact data that we need, which is a list of poster paths. That's all we want from all this crap. So how are we going to parse this crap to get our poster paths? Well, first we want to put this in a JSON formatter. So you just Google JSON formatter, process, and look, suddenly that wall of crap doesn't look so bad. It's actually pretty easy to read. Anything in what are these called? Curly brackets are arrays. Wait. No, anything in curly brackets are objects, and anything in square brackets are arrays. So we're going to do some simple parsing so we can get the 20 movie paths we need, 20 poster paths we need from this wall of text. So we're going to make a new method called getPathsFromJSON, and we're going to pass in that huge wall of text, and that method is going to return an array of the 20 movie paths we need, a string array. We gotta finish up this method. Look, all those red lines went away now that we handled this exception. And if the exception occurs, we're going to continue the infinite loop until eventually an exception won't occur. Now we're going to close the connection. Everything looks good. So now we're going to create the getPathsFromJSON method, which is going to take this wall of crap and turn it into a nice array of 20 movie posters and you can do this with any wall of crap in JSON if you use a formatter. It's very simple. It might seem a little complicated at first. It's actually very simple. Alright, this parenthesis closes the method. So first we're going to create a new JSON object that is that string param we just passed in, the wall of text. And now we're going to create a movies array object that see right here, see these square brackets represent an array. There's an array inside here. Results is an array. So we're creating that array object right here, the movies array. Represents all the content that's inside, which is all the movies basically. And the result is going to be, the result that we're going to be returning is a string array with the length of this movies array. How many movies there are is the length of the result. So now we're going to loop through all the movies, each element in the array. See? What's inside these squares is the array, and then what's inside these curly brackets are each movie, each element of the array. And there should be 20 of them. Notice how in each movie there's one field called poster path. We're going to be extracting each poster path, and then we're going to be adding that to our string array. Return result, and let's see what happens. You can use the movie API in a ton of different ways. We're just using it at the most basic level. We're going to be using the YouTube API later. And this should wrap up this episode if it works. Hopefully it does work. And if you like this video, be sure to like the video and subscribe. I really enjoy making these videos. Just waiting for internet. There we go. Perfect. These are actually the highest rated movies. So, oh, that's because sort by pop is false when we pass it in. In the next episode, actually, we're going to create settings so that you can choose between sorting by popularity or sorting by rating. So we'll deal with that in the next episode. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.